Hi everyone, and today we are going to discuss about object-oriented programming. And nowadays all the softwares are constructed or developed using only object-oriented programming. Okay, and what do you mean by object-oriented programming? And object-oriented programming is a methodology or a paradigm that uses objects and classes for developing a program or a software. And what do you mean by an object? An object is a real-world entity that has its own properties and behavior. And for example, we can consider a dog. The object of a dog is an object. A chair is an object. A wallet is an object, and everything is an object. For example, we are considering dog as one of the object, and the properties of the dog are age, size, color, and breed. And the behavior of the dog is eat, sleep, run, or bark. And these properties are considered as the data, and the behaviors are termed into functions or methods in object-oriented programming. And next, the class. Class is a blueprint from which an object's properties and behavior are decided based on the scenario or based on the blueprint. It acts accordingly. If we consider a person as an object, then the person may be an employee or a family man, or he can run a business, but the properties of the person will not differ in any case. And next one is the difference between the object-oriented programming and the next is difference between object-oriented programming and the procedural-oriented language. And first, the most important difference is here we are going to consider only the objects, but whereas in the procedural programming language we are not going to consider everything as an object. The first is bottom to top approach. In object-oriented programming, that is, we are going to use objects, and based on that object we are going to design the classes. So here the approach is from the last to the top, and whereas in the procedural programming we are not going to use any kind of objects, so we are going to use the approach of top to bottom. And in object-oriented programming, each and everything is classified as objects, but in procedural programming language everything is divided into functions. Only we can call a function and execute it. The functions is a basic building block. It is used to solve some tasks, and we can minimize the number of codes using the functions. And in object-oriented programming we have a concept called access modifiers. And what is the use of this access modifier is we can define the scope of a variable. Fine. And next one, this concept is not available in procedural programming language. So here the object-oriented programming, the objects, we are using objects and classes, so it is more secure. The security is high, whereas in procedural language anyone can make use of the code that is written, so it is less secure. And object-oriented programming supports overloading, but procedural programming does not support overloading. And the next we are going to see about the OOPS concepts. We have 10 to 12 concepts in OOPS, but the major 4 concepts are abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. First one is abstraction. Abstraction. What do you mean by an abstraction? Abstraction, it refers to the act of representing essential features without including all the background details. For example, consider this diagram, the picture given. Here we are having two persons in the picture and a car. The first one, the boy sees, first he looks into the car, he gets the color, and he is thinking about how to drive a car, how the feel will be. But whereas in the opposite side we have an automobile engineer. He is going to design the wheel, and he is going to design the brake system and all the controls in it. So for the third person or for the end user, we are going to give only the feel and the essential details, but without we are going to hide all the background details that is unnecessary for the end users. So hiding unnecessary data from the users will make the application more user friendly, and that is called as a data abstraction. and the next one is encapsulation. Here we are going to bind the data and the code together into a single entity, and that single entity is called as a class. Inside a class we have a methods and variables. That is, we have a variable. In terms we called it as data. For example, in the previous case we are considering dog. The variable for a dog is the breed, size, age and the color, and the method for it is the behavior of the dog is considered as the method. That is, it can eat, it can sleep, it can bark, everything it can do. So those two entities are encapsulated or bind together, and it is called as an encapsulation. And because of this encapsulation, the security is improved. And the next one is inheritance. Inheritance, for example, consider the picture given. The superclass, that is the topmost class we are consider is animal, and inside the animals we have 4 categories, that is reptiles, birds, mammals, everything. So the basic features or the basic behavior and properties of all the animals is same, but their nature will be different. That is, they can differ according to their shape, size, etc. Yes, so the superclass we are considering it as animals, and the subclasses, the child class, we are considering the mammals, birds and etc. So the property of the superclass is extracted and used in the subclass also, that is in the child class also. This is called as inheritance. We have several types of inheritance. For example, the first one is single inheritance, next one is multi-level inheritance, and the next one is hierarchical inheritance, and the next is hybrid inheritance. Here we are not having the concept of multiple inheritance. So instead of having the multiple inheritance, we are going for the concept of interface. We will discuss it later. And the next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism, the ability to act more than one form. That is, for example, consider mother. Mother is a homemaker, and mother will do all the works, and she will go for a work, or she will go for buying groceries, and everything she can do. So ability to take more than one form is called as the polymorphism. And thank you.